Today on Comic Confidential, we review the heavily criticized Assassin's Creed movie and ask the question, why don't video games make good movies? We also talk a little Star Wars and discuss the potential drama with the upcoming Batman movie.
Welcome back to Comic Confidential. I'm Troy Spinner.
I'm Cade Moyer.
And let's dive right into a special announcement that we have for you guys.
Yeah, let's do that. We're actually part of the Castaway Australian Podcast Awards, which is, I guess, the first time Australia's ever had something like this.
Yeah, this is big news. This is like our Oscars or Golden Globes.
Yeah. I think that's spot on.
Logies. It's definitely at least like our Logies.
Do you think they'll give you a trophy of a golden microphone?
Oh my God.
How amazing would that be?
Is that a thing?
I'm going to say yes.
Do we get to go anywhere?
There is an award show, yes.
So there's a red carpet?
Maybe. There might be like a red audio cable that you walk across.
Right. You just got to step across it into some seedy studio in the backdrop.
Yes. That could
Will
be it.
they let us bring our wags?
I would
Serious questions.
I would presume they would.
I think we should ask these questions. Can we bring our wags? Can we do a best of Castaway Awards, Australian Podcast Awards wags as a different segment? Maybe we could win something there too.
Well, I think so. Talking about different segments, they also have a popular vote section.
Yeah, which we are a part of.
Which we are a part of. We're not doing fantastic on it, but I mean, we're on there.
Don't sell it too short. We are doing well. We've got some great fans who have already jumped on there and they have voted for us to win that section. What we want you guys to do is also do that.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time we've actually been able to, I guess, openly speak about it.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Apart from the interwebs.
Yeah, it's all over the interwebs. But so, look, what's the easiest way to do it, Cade?
You can jump onto our Facebook page. We've got it pinned right at the top. So it's like easy as shit.
Yep.
Click on it. Takes you to their website. You find us. You hit the little thumbs up. Only downside, well, it's not really a downside, but you do have to register on there.
Yeah.
Which is just your name and email. Doesn't take that long.
They won't send you spam. We might send you spam.
We're going to send you the most spam. And I'm not talking about email. I'm going to send you a can full of spam.
Actual canned meat.
Yeah.
Which I love. I loved spiced ham.
How good is that what spam stands for?
Yeah, spiced ham.
There you go. You learn something new every bloody
How
day.
are you just learning this?
I don't know, mate.
Look, so guys, make sure, if you can do us that favor, jump onto our Facebook page, Comic Confidential Podcast. It's pinned to the top. Click the link. Click the thumb. Register.
It's only 18 clicks that you have to do. If you do it like now before the 9th, which is probably when this episode comes out.
Likely.
Yeah. Actually, it's the day. Yeah, day before. Anyway
forget
you might have to just also click a link on your email.
Yeah. Just
It's really easy.
super, super easy. So, and we could win stuff.
We could win stuff.
Which would be like one of the first times either of us have ever wanted anything.
Speak for yourself, mate. I'm a champion.
Oh, champion at what?
Life. One life.
Just one.
Like the board game Life.
Oh, life, yeah.
Yeah.
The game of life, I think it's
Is
called.
that what it is? I don't know, man. Winners don't read.
Look, if I can just put a little PSA out there, winners do read. Don't listen to Cade.
Negative, mate. Anyway, you want to get into the news?
Yeah, I think so. I think we should. We've rambled on about that for long enough. First, top news story, I guess, for this week is Rogue One is now the number 2 top grossing domestic release of 2016, currently pulling in $440 million. And we do talk domestically because that seems to be all that people care about when we're talking about like movie money. So domestically is, of course, US dollars, surpassing the star-studded Civil War that was released in mid-2016. So I guess the question is, so this is number 2 now. Do you see Rogue One knocking off Finding Dory off the top spot? And more importantly, do you see it cracking the $1 billion?
How long does it have to crack this top spot? Like, what's the opening time? Is it like a month?
I'm going to answer your question with a question.
Okay.
Now that it's 2017, does it matter? Like, is it still?
It's a new day. It's a new age, mate. Numbers are numbers.
Well, I understand it's a new year, but like obviously this doesn't have to have like it's a 2016 released movie.
Yeah.
That's what matters, right? Not how much money it makes from like the 15th of December to the 31st.
Yes.
Is that right?
I think so.
I'm just I don't
You're
know.
just saying stuff now, man.
I don't even know what's happening.
Let me answer your other question then.
Sure.
Will it crack the billion? I don't think it will.
Really?
I'm going to say this movie will probably max out at about 800.
Can we clarify that though by saying a billion worldwide?
Yes.
Not a billion domestically, because that'll never happen.
Wait, is this movie getting released in China?
I would assume so. It's got Donnie Yen in it, so it'd have to. And because it's got Donnie Yen in it, it's going to make a lot of money in China because he is a superstar / god of Chinese cinema.
That's true. In that case, 900. 900 million.
Okay. 100% yes, we'll knock off Finding Dory. I'll be surprised if by the time this goes to air, it hasn't done it already. B, I think it will. I think it's going to crack $1 billion. It's going to be another Disney smash.
Is Finding Dory Disney? No, that's Pixar. And that's different now, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it is.
I can't keep up, man. I cannot keep up. I don't know.
Pixar's DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Different.
But this is like when you look at the top 5 movies of last year, I think 3 or 4 of them anyway are Disney movies, so they don't care.
They do not care.
They just win.
What's 100 million to Disney? Nothing. Chump change.
Exactly.
Anyway, moving on. Woody Harrelson is in the spotlight for the role of Han Solo's mentor in the upcoming Star Wars anthology movie that takes on the early life of everyone's favorite space smuggler.
Yes.
Han Solo.
That's right.
That's the movie.
Yeah.
However, it is said that discussions are still in the very early stages, but Woody is the top choice for the role right now. It was also rumored that Christian Bale was in the mix for the role.
Yeah.
Who would you prefer?
Woody Harrelson, man.
He just goes with that type of tone of like, the wind, doesn't give a shit type of thing.
Exactly. When you look at this, the characters that they're basing this around. So this is a young Han Solo. This is a young Lando Calrissian. This is probably a relatively younger Chewbacca. Who knows? Like, it depends on where they actually play it. But these guys are going to be. It's going to be like crazy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a whole sort of new young vibe to this movie. Woody Harrelson will fit that perfectly.
Absolutely
perfectly.
I want him to be like a space hippie.
Oh yeah, he's always pretty much a space hippie.
Pretty much.
The character I like, and I don't know, so forgive me, Star Wars mega fans, if this character actually exists within the Star Wars canon somewhere and I've missed it or whatever, because I don't know if it does, but this mentor of Han Solo, I'm thinking they might do it as an amalgamation of a couple of characters or something like that. How I'd like to see it is Woody Harrelson from Zombieland.
Yes, that's what I have in my mind.
Yeah.
But he flies his own Millennium Falcon and they go on drag races through the galaxy.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go, mate.
There's a couple of things that I really want this movie to show, though. Like, I really want them to show the relationship that forms between Han and Chewie. I think we really need to see that. I think that would be cool as shit if they did that. I think another thing is, whether it all fits into the timeline, I don't know, but, like, can we see him do the Kessel Run? So the famous Kessel Run that he does in under 12 parsecs, do we get to see that as well?
He has to, surely.
Like, imagine that this movie brought us that stuff. Like, that would be awesome. So Woody Harrelson aside, that's what I want to see. Woody Harrelson in any movie is pretty much a bonus to me.
Yeah, absolutely. He's bloody fantastic, mate.
He is. Next bit of news
is we have the first official synopsis for Thor Ragnarok. About bloody time, because this movie is coming out in only a handful of, 9 months.
Yeah,
Or is it 11?
It comes out in November. Now, this is one of the things, like, with these movies, and, like, everyone is, like, clamoring for a Justice League trailer. We haven't seen a Thor Ragnarok trailer yet either.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people are talking about it as much as they want a Justice League trailer, because I check the internet almost daily waiting for this Justice League trailer to drop. But I still I want a Thor Ragnarok trailer.
Well, mate, let me read the bloody synopsis to you, and then we'll go on from there.
Cool.
So Thor is imprisoned on the other side of the universe without his mighty hammer and finds himself in a race against time to get back to Asgard to stop Ragnarok, the destruction of his homeworld and the end of the Asgardian civilization at the hands of an all-powerful new threat, the ruthless Hela. But first, he must survive a deadly gladiatorial contest that pits him against his former ally and fellow Avenger, the Incredible Hulk. Amazing. So this confirms a lot of rumors that we've heard about the movie, as Thor is hammerless, which we've heard a lot about. And of course, the whole Planet Hulk storyline with a few minor story changes. However, what's your opinion that Thor seemingly won't be teaming up as previously thought with the Hulk?
It's disappointing. So I'm assuming then that like when we meet Thor and he's imprisoned on this planet, I'm assuming he comes out into this gladiatorial arena. It's like to face someone, and there it is, and it's the Hulk, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are we fighting? And then there's like an epic team up, and that's how they escape, or something like that. Who knows? It's disappointing though that if that's all that happens with the Hulk, I really wanted this to be like this space buddy team up.
Yeah, like a buddy cop movie almost.
Yeah, sort of thing. So it'd be disappointing for me personally if the Hulk only has a minor role just in this first part of the, like, say the first act or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd rather him play like an integral part throughout the whole movie. But yeah, I'll take anything.
Yeah, well, so will I. It's going to be interesting what they do with this, because we kind of have to find out what happens to the Hulk after Avengers 2.
Yep.
Because he's just been gone for a year or two.
However long it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't pop up in Civil War or anything like that.
Yeah, and the comic San Diego thing.
San Diego Comic-Con.
San Diego Comic-Con actually had the footage of those two going head-to-head.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see this trailer. It's going to tell us a little bit more, surely. Don't know if you know this, but Doctor Strange is also apparently playing a huge part in this movie.
See, this is the thing that I don't understand, because this dropped as news like this week or whatever it was. I feel like we've been talking about the Doctor Strange appearance in Thor Ragnarok for the longest time. Like, we've already known for however long that Doctor Strange was going to be in this movie anyway.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that this is news. I thought this was already well established. Maybe it's more of the fact that his role will be bigger than initially thought.
Yeah, maybe.
But we'll see what happens. But I guess then Thor Ragnarok runs the problem of possibly trying to put too many characters into a movie, but Marvel does it well. They did it well with Civil War.
I was going to say, you saw Civil War, didn't you?
Yeah. But it's one of those things that can go either way.
Yeah.
So it can either work out really good, a la Civil War, or it can be shit, a la something that's not Civil War.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. There you go. And that only had 4 characters in it, so fuck that. Anyway, next bit. Okay, so next bit of news is President and CCO of DC Comics, Jeff Johns, teases another superhero show coming to TV. Now, we already know about Black Lightning, which should be coming up relatively soon, or should start production or anything like that. So what do you think it could be?
Blue Beetle.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Is there any reason behind that, or is that just what you want?
Because he can't use Booster Gold. He's been he's had a bookmark put in for a movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know about Blue Beetle. I feel like he'll fit that whole DC universe too.
Oh, well,
he's kind of like another Ray Palmer.
Yeah, true. Definitely true. If you're looking at the Ted Kord incarnation, what channel then would you want to see that on? Because he didn't mention like there's another CW show coming or anything like that. He actually put it in with the CW shows and Gotham on Fox and all that sort of stuff. So what do you think?
Honestly, I could see this one going to Fox.
Yeah.
Just because it's so unique, so self-contained.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you and say that I don't want another CW show right now. I think it's a little bit full.
It'll be a bit saturated. This would be actually, if they did this in the off-season, perfect.
Yeah, maybe. Then you don't get the opportunity to really tie in.
Yeah.
I guess you could have some guest appearances or anything like that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, they'll announce it. He said announced pretty soon, so we won't have to wait too long. Hopefully, it's not just something that he's already spoken about. But it sounds like it's something completely new, and I'm pretty excited for that because who doesn't want more superhero TV shows?
Me. No, I'm joking.
Nah.
I want them all. Staying with DC, a new trailer for the DC comedy show Powerless has been released online, and unfortunately, it no longer looks like it's going to be a workplace comedy similar to The Office. What we see is the staff at Wayne Security specializes in all manner of strange inventions to protect the public from superhero collateral damage. What's your thoughts on the new approach?
It sounds like it's completely different to what they were doing initially.
Yeah, it's a whole different concept now. Have you seen the trailer for this?
No. And I'll tell you why. Because we spoke about this movie last week, this TV show last week as one of these things of 2017 that we don't think is going to last.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything, and yes, I haven't seen this trailer, but they haven't brought out anything else or given me anything else that has really made me feel like it's going to be any different. There doesn't seem to be any real hype around the show at all.
No, this is like, apart from speaking about it last week, I think I saw one poster for it maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah, and a really, really shitty, I would assume it would be a test trailer that they dropped ages ago, because if that was their first trailer, they were always going to be in trouble because it just everything fell flat. The laughs they were going for, nothing. So I don't know, man. This is one of these things that I'm not really excited about. I will definitely watch it and give it a chance, but maybe I need to jump on and check out this trailer. What do you think? I haven't seen it,
mate. It's gonna flop.
Yeah,
yeah. The trailer's not great. It is, mate. I wouldn't be surprised if this show had a laugh track on it.
Really, one of those things.
Yeah, to assist you when to know when to laugh.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't, like, The Big Bang Theory has that, and that's been going for 10 seasons. You know how I know that? Because I've watched all 10 seasons.
Mate, you might be one of the only people that have done that.
I think I am. There are a lot of people that actually hate that show, but I'm
including me.
Yeah, I'm way too invested in it to, like, turn away now. It's like the whole How I Met Your Mother factor
I hope it bites you in the ass with a...
Well, see, the thing is with this particular show, and I don't know why we're talking about The Big Bang Theory on the show, but the whole thing with The Big Bang Theory is they've just been renewed for like another 3 seasons or some shit.
What is there to tell?
It's never going to end.
Is that the modern day Seinfeld now?
It has to be. I don't know how. I actually don't know how it's going to end. And they are still in a situation where the two main guys still live together, even though one of them's married.
What?
I don't know how they've made it work, but whatever. I'm still watching it, and I'll be there till the end. So fuck you, everyone else. That's
God
in this show. Anyway, shall we move on? I think Powerless is going to be a dud still.
Yeah, so do I.
Look, the sort of big thing that I wanted to talk about this week is all the rumors surrounding Ben Affleck potentially stepping away from helming the Batman. Now, this is a news story that dropped not that long ago in regards to saying, you know, like Ben Affleck has said that at the moment there actually is no script. I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead with it, all this sort of stuff, whatever. Do you buy into this story at all? Or do you think this is purely kind of the media like making something out of nothing like it always does with DC movies?
I think it's that, but I also think it's Ben Affleck just trolling a bit.
You reckon?
Yeah, big time.
Why would he do that, though?
Because he used to be part of that whole Rat Pack who used to do shit like that. And I think he's just, you know, having a little bit of fun.
The guy is 48 years old or something.
Mate, he's playing a superhero character.
Well, that's
come on.
Fair call, but I personally don't buy it at all.
No.
I think it's just it is clickbait. There's interviews with Ben Affleck from like halfway through December where he says that he's really excited about this project. He just doesn't want to release something that is not up to par.
Yeah, I feel like every week we're hearing a story about this script.
Yeah.
And do you think it's the media almost trying to use bully tactics to get it rushed through?
Oh man, I don't know. Look, I think this is the type of movie though, and I think I've spoken about this before. This is Ben Affleck, man. This is Ben Affleck. He is a big enough movie star. He's a good enough director. He's a fantastic writer. They are like, there shouldn't be any studio pressure from anyone to get this movie done right. They need to sit back and they need to let Ben do his work. And I don't think he'd be the type that would let them do it. I think at the end of the day, the only thing that gives this story any credence in my mind is that Ben Affleck would turn around and he'd say, well, you know what? Fucking do it yourself. Yeah. If you're not going to let me do it yourself, because you're never going to do it as good as I can. That's the only thing for me that leads any sort of credence to the story, but I honestly don't buy into it.
No, not at all. I agree with everything that you've said there.
Thanks, man. Sometimes I actually say some smart things.
Some smart things, yes.
The other thing that came out about this is the fact that it's likely that this is going to be filmed in LA. So this is a movie like any other setting previously, not like I'm talking about what they've seen for Batman vs. Superman and all that sort of stuff for Gotham City, has typically been Chicago with a little bit of Detroit thrown in there, I think. But yeah, now they're moving to LA, which is the same city that Christopher Nolan used for Gotham in The Dark Knight Rises.
Is it really?
Yeah, so what do you think about that?
Ah, interesting. I'm surprised they don't shoot this in Canada just for the dollar difference. To get more value out of their money.
Yeah, but you're never going to find a city like a metropolis. Well, I don't want to say a metropolis because obviously
there's Toronto, mate.
Well, you know what I mean. I don't think there's no Chicago-like cities or, there's no LAs or anything like that. They're very, very...
The Flash is filmed in Canada, right?
Yeah, I know.
And that basically looks like Metropolis, their background.
But, shows like Arrow are filmed in multiple locations.
Yeah.
So I think they do a lot of their filming, say, in Vancouver or something like that, right? Yeah. But a lot of the external shots that you see of Star City and things like that, they're of Boston and they're of other areas. So they're actually like taking different areas from around America and they're filming it in Canada. So when they're looking at their external city shots, like, let's be honest, there are no city like skylines that you would find similar to what you would find in the US. Look, before I found out that Christopher Nolan used it in The Dark Knight Rises, I actually did not know that until I was researching this story. I would have said no way.
Yeah, same. But now that you told me that's a whole different story.
Yeah, like because that worked for me. Like I did really enjoy The Dark Knight Rises. So I'm all for it, man. The thing I'm all for with this movie is I will let Ben Affleck do whatever the hell he wants as long as he brings out the movie that he is going to bring out. And I think that's going to be brilliant.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Let us know what you think. Tweet us at Comic Con Pod.
Or Facebook us.
Yeah, they can do that too.
You're here to save my soul.
I understand it's your birthday.
Yeah. The party's just getting started.
His name is Callum Lynch. We've traced his bloodline back 500 years to the Assassin's Creed.
Okay, so this week we went to the cinemas very, very begrudgingly because this is one of these movies that we were tossing up for probably the last month or so as to whether we actually wanted to go and see it or not.
This is one of those movies that we almost considered pirating off one of those really, really bad cinema recorded phone ones.
Yeah, because the actual thought of spending genuine hard-earned money on something that was likely going to be a fucking shitstorm was terrifying.
If anyone from Event Cinemas is listening to this, can you just maybe sponsor a couple of these movies for us? Because some of them we don't want to go see, and it would be fantastic if you guys could help us out.
Just hook us up, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, how hard is it to give a couple of dudes some free tickets so we can go there and not have to pay money, but still let the people know what we think about movies?
I'll buy your popcorn and your drinks.
Oh, I will buy a large frozen raspberry every damn time. Every damn time. Anyway, we're getting off track. Point is, have we even said the name of the movie?
No.
It's Assassin's Creed, right? Anyway, so we did go and see Assassin's Creed because we wanted to see if it actually was as bad as everyone was saying. Because this is a movie that hasn't been very well received by critics, hasn't been very well received by fans either. But we needed to go and see it ourselves because it actually has like a pretty sort of good cast attached to it. Michael Fassbender was a producer, so
Was he a producer?
Yeah, he was a producer on it as well. So
oh my god!
It had the potential to be good. Out soon enough. What we'll do though is we'll give you a little bit of a rundown on the synopsis itself, which I'll do, I guess.
This is 100% spoilers, by the way, and this will probably just be the synopsis because there's not much to this fucking story.
Okay, we are 49 episodes in, Cade. If people don't know that we spoil the
Mate,
shit out of things...
there's new people every day.
Well, to the new listeners, we spoil the shit out of things every week. We do not fuck around. It's all about spoilers. So, movie synopsis time anyway. Through a revolutionary technology that unlocks his genetic memories, Callum Lynch, played by Michael Fassbender, experiences the adventures of his ancestor Aguilar in 15th century Spain. Callum discovers he is descended from a mysterious secret society, the Assassins, and amasses incredible knowledge and skills to take on the oppressive and powerful Templar organization in the present day.
Oh my God, that sounds so thrilling.
Doesn't it sound amazing?
It does. It actually sounds like that could be a very good movie.
Look, and this is a movie that, like, I was getting more and more excited as they released trailers because they released better trailers as it went along.
And it had a banging soundtrack to those trailers as well.
To the trailers. Yeah. Music that you never actually hear during the movie, and that's fine.
Can you imagine how much they would have had to pay Kanye for trailer music?
Oh, man.
Trailer music, man.
Because you know Kanye is a bitch of a man.
Oh.
He would have charged them a shit ton.
What do you reckon, 10 mil?
10 mil to get out of bed, to pick up the phone, to say, yeah, you can use my music for $100 million. No, I don't know if that's true. But anyway, let's talk about some financials while we're talking about money. So this movie didn't have a very strong opening weekend.
No, it's been a flop so far.
Has been a big flop. We're talking about $10.2 million domestic opening weekend. So that's not a lot of money. Considering, like, if you talk about Rogue One, which is something that was spoken about that did
making that on the alley.
Yeah, so $42 million domestically through its first almost 2 weeks. So by the time this goes to air, it will have had its actual 2 weeks and we'll know a little bit better, but it's not going to be that much better, let me tell you. $42 million domestically, $45 million internationally. That is a total of $87 million worldwide in 2 weeks on a $125 million budget. That is Flop City, my friend.
Mate, I reckon this might get close to breaking even on production value.
You reckon? Yeah, look,
it won't get in the green. It won't make its marketing budget back, but god damn.
Well, let's just reference our experience for a second, because this was like, we went midweek and we went like during the day because apparently we've got nothing else to do.
Yeah, it's 4,000 degrees where we are.
It was 4,000 degrees outside. The cinema was packed.
It was the busiest movie we've been to in a year.
Honestly, and we've seen a lot of friggin' decent movies this year, man. And we saw Rogue One not long after it opened and all that sort of stuff. This cinema was as packed as I've seen it in a long time. And I don't know if that's people just desperately spending money to escape the heat that's outside, or if they were genuinely interested in seeing it. But yeah, it's actually surprising as to how busy it was when we were there.
Well, to be fair, there was a lot of, I guess, younger cinema goers. So it'd probably be a lot of gamers.
Yeah.
Who went to go see this. I didn't see a lot of grown-ass men in there.
Well, we
like
were
us.
We were probably the only two, let's be fair. But yeah, you're right. It's one of those things that probably was a younger audience that was there. Because it is school holidays, by the way, just in case you don't know that.
So let's do a super brief review on this one. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. Let's just let it run. Because this is something that can inspire some terrific rants.
Maybe.
But we'll see what happens.
Okay, so what did you think of the story?
The story. So this is the thing, right? So this is a movie, as I kind of referenced earlier, it's got a stellar cast. So we're talking about Michael Fassbender, Marion Cotillard, Jeremy Irons, Brendan Gleeson, Charlotte Rampling, Michael Kenneth Williams, right? So these are all actors that are capable of winning or have won or been nominated for Oscars. So we're talking Oscar-worthy actors in a movie that, I'm going to spoil how I feel about it, but they could not save it. There is nothing that they could do to save this movie. And that says one of two things to me. Either the script was so shit that a bunch of talented motherfuckers could not turn this thing around, or they all just did it for a paycheck and no one actually gave a shit at all, because there are a couple of really sort of phoned in performances, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay.
So that's kind of where I'm going with the cast, at least. One of the other things about the story that really shit me off was everybody's motivations kind of really switched towards the end of the movie, and switched quickly and switched very conveniently.
Yeah. I'll agree with you on that. It almost seemed, it confused me.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where I had to ask you after the movie, like, what happened there, really?
So if you want a couple of examples, you're talking about Michael Fassbender, who for the entire movie spends basically his entire time doing what it is that he's doing in an effort to destroy the Assassin's Creed because his father was a member and his father killed his mother.
Yeah.
And like, I know there are a turn of events that kind of twist it, but right towards the end, right when it's very convenient, he actually just gets visited by a bunch of like fucking assassin ghosts or something, and then turns around and goes, actually, you know what? This Assassin's Creed ain't too bad. I'm now going to be the leader of the new one.
Barely a word was spoken and complete mindset change.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely crazy. And then the crazy part of that as well is the assassins that were already in the building with him, who were against him because they were kind of like, oh, well, this guy's going to try to destroy the Creed. We've got to kill him. Conveniently, at exactly the same time, turn around and go, actually, you know what? That Fassbender guy, he's not too bad. We're on his side now.
Yeah. Absolutely bloody ridiculous.
And without much like real question as to why they changed so quickly. Which is the part that's probably the most frustrating. And even Marion Cotillard's character, whose name I just don't even know, she was a whole, like, she was doing what she was doing because she wanted to save the world. She wanted to, like, rid the world of violence and all that sort of stuff, despite what her dad said.
Yeah, apparently violence is a sickness.
Yeah, it's built into our genetic sort of, or
it's a genetic flaw.
See, this is the whole thing about the story. Stupid. So this whole story revolves around this apple of Eden, which basically contains the entire sort of, how would you describe it? It's like
man's first sin, man's first point of free will.
Yeah, and it kind of gives you the way to control man's will, as it were.
Yeah.
It gives you the code to break it down, I guess, and then you can like control everybody on the planet. So what they're trying to do is basically they're essentially kind of trying to brainwash people into not being violent. So this is a new form of control that they're trying to establish or whatever. And she's doing all this against her dad's wishes because her dad wants this other thing to happen and all this sort of stuff. And it's kind of like she's very much, you know, she's pro Michael Fassbender, obviously. She's anti her dad's other motivations in regards to him and his doings with the Templar. She doesn't want anything to do with that. She just wants to science.
Yeah.
Basically, she just wants to science and she just wants to change the world. Until, of course, the assassins kill her dad, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like, oh, no, you know what? Those assassin guys are bastards. Now I'm going to be like the new leader of the Templar. That's what I took away from him.
Exactly.
I don't actually really know. The biggest thing about this movie, if we're talking about the story, is this is how I see the story go. Absolute borefest, right? Let's find a way to get Michael Fassbender back into the what's that thing even called?
Artemis?
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah.
Into the big robot arm.
Into the Animus. Animus, it's called, yeah. So it's basically a bore fest. Let's find any excuse to get Michael Fassbender back into this Animus, and then it's kind of like, so we can get an action piece, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
So they do exactly the same thing. It's bore fest, Fassbender in the Animus, action scene, bore fest, repeat.
Yeah. Everything you are saying is pretty much on the head, mate.
Yep.
You've nailed it. I want to talk to you about the hero and the villain, which it's almost the same thing here because the story flips, it flips back. What did you think of him?
If we're talking about the hero, if we're talking about Callum Lynch, like Michael Fassbender can do so much better.
He can. He was phoning it in for the paycheck. Yeah.
Well, but this is what I don't understand because as a producer, like technically sometimes, depending on what you do, some of your own money goes into producing this movie. So he's kind of paying himself to do a shit job in that kind of like roundabout sort of way. And I don't really understand that, but Michael Fassbender is Michael Fassbender in this movie. That's basically it. He's brooding, he's gloomy, he's troubled, he's all that sort of stuff.
Honestly,
it's exactly what you'd expect.
Exactly. And all I could really think of out of his performance was glimpses of Magneto.
Yeah, I guess so. But nowhere near as good.
Nowhere near as good.
I would hate to, like when we're talking about First Class and Days of Future Past and stuff like that, those are great movies and Fassbender does a fantastic job as Magneto. But that's my point. He can do a fantastic job. It's just this movie had nothing to give him. It really had nothing. Yes, some of this, like the action pieces were good. Some of the fight scenes were good, passable, not great, but they were there. And like some of the free running scenes and all that sort of stuff was fantastic. I'll give it that. But that's not Michael Fassbender.
Well, the thing with this whole story with the hero is that there was really nothing on the line for him at all.
Yeah.
Through the motions here, he had nothing to lose, really nothing to gain, because he wasn't ever promised freedom or anything like that.
Well, the only thing that he was given to gain at any point was basically confronting his father,
Which he didn't even want to do.
Yeah, so it's very, very weak motivations in the first place. And then those motivations switch, as we discussed earlier, which is absolutely bizarre. But if you want to talk about the villain, I don't even know who that was.
Exactly. Originally, it was the other assassins, which you learned.
Templar.
The Templar.
The Knights Templar.
Well, no. Originally, it was the other Assassin's Creed in the building with him.
Yeah.
They started off as friends, and then they became enemies, and then they became friends again.
So essentially, to give you guys a little quick understanding of what's happening, there's about 4 or 5 other people who also have genetic links back to members of the Assassin's Creed. So they've already been through the Animus, and they've used them to find all the information that they can to find out where the Apple of Eden is so far.
How come Fassbender never asked them, why are you still here if you're not needed anymore?
I think at one point he does reference that to maybe cafeteria or something. I briefly remember something like that, but I might have also been falling asleep, so I don't know.
I know I was, and this is during the day.
This is right in the middle of the day, so that's when it's the hardest to fall asleep, and this was happening. But I think, like, when you're talking about, if we're going back to the villains, and if you're talking about like them, so these are guys, as I said, they've already been through the Animus. They're the ones that they've got the information off, that found out that Aguilar was the last one that likely had this Apple of Eden, and that's where they got to Michael Fassbender. Who gives a shit? None of it matters. Initially, they are the bad guys, and then they switch. And then it's like Jeremy Irons is kind of the bad guy, and he switches. And then it's kind of like the Knights Templar, and Charlotte Rampling's character is the head Templar. She's the one that's like the bad guy, but you never actually really know, because in this movie, there is nothing really to lose. There's nothing to gain.
Exactly.
And that's one of the biggest problems with it. One thing I did want to mention when, like, in regards to this movie, before like we move on and to the best scenes and worst scenes and all that sort of stuff, this had what I would feel like is a lot of potential that was wasted. When we're talking about the action scenes, and I want to know, because we haven't spoken about this movie with each other yet, I want to know if you notice this as well. Pieces set within the Spanish Inquisition and all that sort of stuff, right? Why would you then go and obscure 90% of the action on screen with smoke? Did you pick that up?
When he was in the machine, or when he was actually
within the Spanish Inquisition?
Yep.
When he's Aguilar, it's like they have. It's like the director had a budget of $100 million,
and they were running out near the end.
Well, either that, or he spent $90 million on fucking smoke machines, because it is everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. And when you see them coming through the cities, there's burning fires like all over the place.
You're right. Yeah, I did think that was quite weird. It's almost like Smoke City up in here.
Always. Everywhere they went, no matter what place they went to, there was always a lot of smoke and sort of things obscuring it. Even when they were away from that, there was kind of a lot of dust that was obscuring it as well.
That was my next thing he's going to say.
So is this a young director who has kind of missed his opportunity to create these like amazing action pieces and just went a little bit overboard trying to like make some like
make a really beautiful kind of world?
Or is it a director that is completely like you said, I guess, run out of money, and the only reason that I can think of the smoke to be there is that it has to hide what would be some subpar CGI of these cities, because you can't see it because so much of it is obscured. So did they use that as a device to save themselves on money when it came to like making these like massive set pieces?
I have no doubt. No doubt.
But to me, it was fucking all over the place.
Okay, give me your best bit and your worst bit.
I actually have I have 2 best bits. So one is Michael Fassbender just inexplicably getting his shirt off.
I think we looked at each other and just like that's just in there for the sake of him taking it off.
So let me clarify this by saying Michael Fassbender had already been in the Animus a couple of times prior to this. Right, so this is the last sort of big, the right before the big sort of action set piece and all that sort of stuff that kind of closes off the movie. And I don't know if he's just pumped, maybe he's super psyched or something like that, but he just walks in there and he's like, let's do this. And he just rips his shirt off and he just like jumps in the Animus and you're like, dude, you've left your shirt on the entire time. You probably could have left it on that time. Nothing changes.
And plugs it in perfectly on his own.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Look, I mean, I'm not even going to reference that, but the inexplicable shirt taking off. The other thing I did want to, and this is an actual serious one that I did like, you've got to give credit to the stunt performers in this movie because a lot of the free running was done exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And it looked great.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. The fight scenes were really good. I almost feel like some of the fight scenes were almost at like 1.5 speed.
Yeah, possibly.
Like, it just feels like that.
It could have been. It very well could have been. And I know like a lot of what they did is they wanted to, well, from what you can see, is they wanted to create a lot of actual aspects of gameplay within these scenes. So there's a lot of moves that you can do, like in the game that you see mirrored on screen.
Yeah.
It's fan service, and that's exactly what it is. But these huge, massive leaps of faith off buildings, and I think it's death from above or something they call it, you know, when he sort of like jumps off a building and he's got the little knife thing and whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The thing I want to reference, though, is apparently these death from above drops were actual stuntmen that were dropping like massive,
Really?
like almost world record stunt dives.
Wow.
To actually capture a realistic look. So it wasn't CGI in some of those parts. It was genuine stunt people doing genuine crazy, crazy shit for our enjoyment. And that, I guess, deserves to spend a little bit of hard-earned money on for these guys themselves. Because Michael Fassbender's got a shit ton of money, and that guy can do better. These guys, man, they're the unsung heroes of this movie.
Mate, this might get some awards for its stunt work then.
Nah.
Well, you really don't think so?
I don't, man. I think this is going to be completely passed up for every award ceremony there is, apart from maybe, I don't want to say a Razzie, because it's not the worst thing.
It's not that bad.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's not Razzie material. But yeah, what about your best moments?
The fight scenes, mate. They were just on point. It was really, really good. Worst bits, 90% of the acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the general chit chat in it.
There was next to no chemistry between Marion Cotillard and Michael Fassbender.
Yeah,
and I want to say one thing in regards to Marion Cotillard. She is an amazing actress, and she's an Academy Award winner, I believe. If not, she has 100% definitely been nominated. Right? She is responsible, not single-handedly responsible, but she is responsible for one of, in my opinion, the worst on-screen deaths of all time. When she was Talia al Ghul in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
And her death scene in that, it's ridiculous. She's been ridiculed because of it for ever since the movie came out. It is crazy that her, as a talented actress, and all the people, and Christopher Nolan, everybody involved, let that happen, and it still shits me to this day. And I will talk about this on my deathbed because it made me so angry when I saw it. But she is capable.
I could imagine you. No, this is how you die.
Yeah, exactly. Can someone just get Marion Cotillard on Skype so she can see how someone dies for real? Because she needs to learn. But my point is, she is a very talented actress, but she has these moments, man, where she just does these things and it just shits me to tears. And it's like she did that pretty much the whole way through this movie.
Yeah, it was just rubbish. All the acting was rubbish.
However, I do have two questions that I want to ask you in regards to the Animus itself.
Okay.
Right? There's a couple of things that I just picked up that really shit me off, and I just wanted to see if either A, you picked them up as well,
yep,
or maybe I'm just being like, maybe I'm going crazy.
Okay.
So the Animus itself kind of mimics every move that his ancestor is doing. So somehow the genetic code lines up, the DNA, I don't know. So apparently you can line up your memories of your ancestors or whatever. I don't know. I do not understand the science behind it. I don't think you need to be a scientist to understand it. I just don't think it's real.
Here's a hot tip, mate. It's not real.
No, you know what I mean? Like there's no actual scientific basis behind it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this Animus kind of like recreates all these moves. So these death-defying dives and these flips and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And this thing is attached as a harness like around the waist and as a clip on the back of the neck, right? How the fuck do you do a ninja roll? How do you do a ninja roll in a thing that is connected all the way around your waist, basically?
Mate,
It's not even all the way. I don't understand how a ninja roll happens.
Magnets. It's not even attached. It's just magnetic. That's how it does it.
Oh, okay, of course. Magnets. Because you can still roll with this giant metal thing attached. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No, there was like rubber tubing on the inside of it. I specifically looked for it because I thought that was ridiculous. But on the inside, there was rubber tubing. So I'm saying,
what the fuck does rubber
flexible.
tubing do? If I had a whole bunch of rubber tubing around my waist, it would be incredibly hard to do an Assassin's Creed worthy ninja roll. And I understand you can't do a ninja roll when you're an assassin, but you know what I mean. I just don't understand the science behind it.
Okay, next question.
Okay, the other thing is in line with that whole thing. This is this animus that creates every move that you're doing.
Yes.
So there's a part where Michael Fassbender jumps off a bridge, and he has to jump into some water. That's the only way he kind of saves himself. And he like throws something into the water to kind of help break the water first, and then he falls in and all that sort of stuff. So instead of recreating that somehow with the animus, Michael Fassbender does this awesome superhero landing on ground, whereas within the animus itself, he is landing in water and just kind of swimming. But in the studio, or whatever you want to call it, in the lab, he's done this epic superhero landing to a point.
Yeah.
Come on. If you're going to make it do everything that you can do,
be consistent.
Be consistent.
Well, I've got a question for you.
Don't throw in a superhero landing just for the sake of throwing in a superhero landing.
Okay, now I've got a question for you. We learn in this movie that they get an annual budget of $3 billion a year to do this.
Yes.
This machine has a skylight made out of glass that can be broken by a knife.
Yes.
Does that...
Well, they're using...
How is this thing even accessible from the outside?
They are using their budget for the machine itself, and they are using second-rate contractors to do the glass roofing. I think it's obvious. The one thing that I want to point out, though, on the exact same thing that you're talking about, is Michael Fassbender has to climb to the top of the animus to actually break the glass in the first place, right? Then all of a sudden, there is an actual ramp that ramps up, and he's now out the top of the friggin' glass. You have never seen that as a dome that opens and a ramp that rises. He has just officially climbed to the top of this machine. And then now all of a sudden he's broken the glass, and this nice little elevator just lifts him to outside.
Obviously, you don't play video games, mate. He found the secret thing.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just one of those secret levels. You've just got to hit the right combination or something like that to find. I don't know. I don't play enough games to really understand, but maybe that's why.
That's exactly it. Okay, big question. Do you rate it or do you hate it?
Look.
Is this our first movie of 2017?
This is our first movie of 2017. Okay, so first movie of 2017 is a hate. Save your money. It's not the worst thing you'll ever see, but save your damn money and just get it. Get it on dollar video night or whatever they call those things anymore.
Yeah, Tight Ass Tuesdays.
Tight Ass Tuesdays at the video store. Is that a thing? Are they still called video stores?
Wait for this on Netflix. I do not rate this. I hate this. I hate this so much, and it is Netflix only worthy. So seeing that we're kind of on the topic of shit video game movies, we kind of figured that we'll do a top 5.
Yeah, of the
list, just a little quick list of the top five worst video game adaptations.
Yeah, look, this could have gone either way. If this movie was good, we could have done a best 5.
Well,
there's the best of a shit bunch. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. We're going to do a top 5 of the worst game to film adaptations. Why don't you kick us off, Cade, with number 5?
So number 5, we have Street Fighter, and this has a 15% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. This thing only had a budget of $35 million. Which, when was this movie made? I think it felt like it was early 90s.
It was early 90s. I believe it was like 93 or something like that.
And that's still pretty low money for a movie back then. It did pull back $33 million.
Oh, almost in the red. Or the black.
In the black.
In the black. I always get that wrong.
Yeah.
Always in the black. Black is good. Always bet on black.
And this movie, it actually featured Kylie Minogue and Van Damme.
Yep. What's your memory of this movie? Because we haven't gone back and rewatched any of these movies, but what's your memory of Street Fighter?
Oh, man. I remember some really bad CGI.
Oh.
Just like some of... And I know it's 90s, but you knew this had no budget.
Yeah.
And you know you have no budget, like, no offense, but you're getting Kylie Minogue.
Well, exactly. This is a...
She wasn't even big back then.
She was probably big in Australia only.
Maybe
in the UK. This is probably one of these movies that was filmed like at Movie World.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
In Australia on the Gold Coast. Mine, though, like I have many memories of this movie. I think that the casting, though, was fucking terrible. This is one of those things, like, I love Street Fighter, and we spoke last week how we didn't really get into anime or anything like that. One of my favorite anime movies of all time is Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. And this is one of the coolest fucking anime features I've seen. If you haven't seen it, go out and find it. It's probably a little bit dated now, but it's still pretty awesome. It's just, this was something that I was so keen for. How the fuck do you cast Jean-Claude Van Damme as all-American fucking army pilot, you know what I mean, Air Force pilot, Guile? It makes no sense. No sense. Anyway. What's number 4?
Number 4, we've got Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and this had... Oh, wow. This had a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. And
sorry, 3%?
3%.
You're not missing a number?
No.
Okay.
Just single digit. And the budget for this was $30 million. However, this did get in the black with a box office return of $36 million.
Ooh.
And this movie actually had a decent name in it. It might not have been decent back then, but I guess it's decent in today. That was James Renner, and he played Raiden, and he's best known for his role in Dexter recently.
Dexter's dad.
Yeah.
This is a movie so Mortal Kombat itself, I really enjoyed. The first one is one of those ones that you could possibly put on the best of game adaptations, because it was done really well. Yes, it was still cheesy, and if you go back and watch it now, it's still very, very, very 90s. It's hard to watch in parts, but there were some really good actors. Robin Shou was amazing as a martial artist. You had a guy by the name of that, not a lot of people know, but his name is Keith H. Cook. He played Sub-Zero in that movie. He's actually a fantastic martial artist as well. But then you go and cast Christopher Lambert as Raiden, and Christopher Lambert can't do anything, and Raiden's like supposed to be this all-powerful thing. My point is, none of these people came back. None of these people came back for the next movie. I think 3 out of 5 of the main cast, something like that, came back for it. And you can see why, because it is shithouse.
Mate, the best thing that came out of these Mortal Kombat movies, in my personal opinion, soundtrack.
Yes. Oh, man. The Mortal Kombat soundtrack was amazing.
It's just fucking so on point.
The theme is so good. I'm going to make that my ringtone, man. It might just be nostalgia talking, but I'm going to make that my ringtone.
No, it's good.
Is it? Okay,
it's amazing.
Then it is done. What a shithouse movie, by the way.
Absolutely terrible.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation is fucking terrible.
You know, there's a Mortal Kombat movie on YouTube that's like fan made.
Yes,
and looks fucking fantastic,
man.
I thought there was talks of that getting turned into a TV show.
I can't remember. I think they tried to do it, but it didn't. I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because we've got Michael J. White, another fantastic actual martial artist who was playing Jax, and he was basically just this everyday cop sort of thing. It was really good, and it was done realistically, and that's kind of the thing that made it so good. It was kind of done in the real world. If you can check that out on YouTube, go and check it out, man. It's actually really good. I don't know what happened. There was actually a Mortal Kombat series for a while. It was shit. But yeah, they were going to try to turn this into a movie or something, but I don't know what happened to that. I don't know what happened to that.
I feel like, in my head, I could be wrong, but I feel like there was like 4 episodes, or might have been like 4 little stories in it.
Yeah, there was something like that. There's a couple of parts to it for sure. That just goes to show that sometimes fans can make shit with no money 1,000 times better than any actual fucking studio
source material.
Did you see the Power Rangers fan made with James Vanderbeek? That was fucking awesome as shit.
This is why we probably got such a dark Power Rangers movie.
Maybe because that was received. Like I understand that there was like, I think whatever the company that owns Power Rangers sued and all this sort of stuff.
Why do people do that? Like, isn't this just like paying tribute to something they love?
Wouldn't you wouldn't you want people to like be hyped about something that you are actually producing and making? Do you know what I mean? Like if you were the guys behind Power Rangers and no one's fucking talking about Power Rangers, and all of a sudden somebody comes out with a fucking awesome fan film, and then all of a sudden Power Rangers is trending on Twitter and all this sort of shit. James Vanderbeek's trending again, and that's awesome. For the Dawson's Creek fans
Yeah.
in us. But like I just don't understand why you would sue. Like, just let it fucking go.
Man, haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. Stop drinking that haterade.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let's move on to number 3, and that is Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Man, this movie had some nostalgia for me.
Well,
Hang on. Let me talk the numbers first.
Yeah, okay.
So it has a 15% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Had a massive... Well, I'm saying this is massive for what this movie was.
This was 91, I believe.
91, but when you look at what this movie was, it was absolute dog shit. It had a budget of $42 million. How they spent $42 million making that is beyond me. It brought back at the box office $21 million. So...
Not even half. It is half.
Yeah, it was a massive flop. And it had Bob Hoskins. He was probably best known for his role as the detective in Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, probably best known, I guess.
Yeah. That's how I know him. And it also had... he played Mario, sorry. And John... I'm going to say this wrong.
Leguizamo.
Most known lately for his roles in the Ice Age movies.
Did I just voice over you?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And he played Luigi.
Luigi. Look, I'll tell you where they spent their $42 million on. They spent their $42 million getting Bob Hoskins, who at the time was a big star.
He was huge.
And getting Dennis Hopper, who at the time was a big star as well, to play King Koopa.
Bowser, mate.
Oh, no, it was King Koopa.
Was it?
I'm sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure it was King Koopa.
You're going to make me watch this movie again?
Yep. I guarantee you it's King Koopa. So, yeah, that's where they spent all their money, trying to get big names attached to this shit heap of a movie.
Yeah.
But you like, I don't remember it too well, and I haven't gone back and watched it, but what's your memory of this? Like,
mate, this movie is terrible. The brothers are like 20, like in this movie, they're about 20 years apart.
Yeah.
One could be his dad.
Yeah, it could be a dad and his son.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like you could easily think that. Oh man, this movie was just shit. The Goombas were crap.
The Goombas.
The Goombas. They were like these gigantic things. In the games, they're these like little cute.
The story.
Oh, mate. But this, I think the cast even knew this was a train wreck because they were drunk the whole time.
Is that a behind the scenes fact?
Yeah, it's
are you
behind the
just
scenes
making that
fact.
up? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, fucking obviously then.
I'm pretty sure Bob Hoskins actually broke an ankle or something. He was that drunk.
Really?
In a scene.
So, I know, I think...
And I think that might be half the reason why they actually get those moon boots later in the movie.
Oh, that is ridiculous. I know Bob Hoskins went on record as saying that this was his worst ever role. So if there's ever a role that he regrets, it's that one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, if it makes an actor's, worst ever movie I've been in list,
It's bad.
that's bad.
Can't believe it has 15%.
It's crazy.
That's almost Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, that's probably almost...
Fantastic Four.
yeah, actually, because Batman vs. Superman is like 19 or something.
Yeah.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Like that means it's in this ballpark.
I demand a fucking recount because there is no way Batman vs. Superman is this bad. Rotten Tomatoes,
Fuck you.
I was trying to figure out the most polite way to say fuck you, but fuck you.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Number 2.
Number 2, and that's Double Dragon with a massive 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. And believe it or not, this thing had a budget of $8 million.
$8 million, you can see.
There's TV shows that have bigger budgets per
There is
episode
now,
than
yeah.
that.
Well and truly.
At the box office, brought back 2.3. And this actually had some pretty big names in it for like what it was.
Yeah.
It had Alyssa Milano, who's best known from Charmed, which is actually getting a reboot. You know that?
A prequel.
Is it a prequel?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a prequel they're doing.
That makes sense why it's set back in the 1970s.
Exactly. 'Cause
Fantastic.
all of the actors of that are like 50 or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you couldn't get them back. I really enjoyed that show. It
Yep.
was good.
Moving on.
Moving on. And it also had Robert Patrick, best known for the T-1000.
Oh, Robert Patrick, because this is one that I actually did go back and watch. Not all of it, couldn't do it, could not do it. Robert Patrick's hair in this movie is fucking amazing.
He always has amazing hair. I remember
does.
when I was... Who doesn't remember X-Files, right?
Right?
He had the perfect hair in the X-Files.
Yeah. He's got the best hair. He's got the best hair when he's the T-1000. He's got the best hair in this movie. It's got like some like platinum blonde... like it's like half platinum blonde, half like brown, like some sort of top deck action happening. This two people that you've missed, like the main two people, the I don't even know what their names are called, Billy and something, I don't know. So you've got Scott Wolf, who was Bailey from Party of Five, which at that time was massive.
huge, yeah.
So this is Scott Wolf in his prime. And the other guy was Mark Dacascos, who is one of my personal favorite people of all time. I love the guy, and he's an actual martial artist, and he's been in some amazing movies. But he was in the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Hive's main sidekick
Oh,
guy.
yes.
Yeah. Can't remember his name for the life of me. But he
Yeah.
was in that. I loved Mark Dacascos.
The guy who had like the death touch type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he could, slow time, or what could he do? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Death touch. We'll call it a death touch. Anyway, my point is, I loved Mark Dacascos, and I have an autographed picture of Mark Dacascos.
He had magnetic powers, mate. That's what
right.
it was.
He was magnetic powers. There you go. He could take people's guns off him and shit. This movie is fucking shit.
Hang on, wait. Tell me how you really feel. Do you rate it?
I fucking hate it. It opens shit. It's cheesy as fuck. I can't even it's set in 2007.
Oh, how different is the future?
Apparently 2007 to people in 1991 is some crazy dystopian future that has we've all been affected by mass earthquakes, and half of some shit is split off and all this sort of crap, and we constantly experience major tremors and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, this movie is a heap of shit. I can't even go into it. Watch it. Go out and watch every single one of these movies. I dare you to.
Is it on Netflix?
No, I had to watch it on YouTube, to be honest with you. I could not find it anywhere. Yes, some of these movies you will have to watch on YouTube.
Hey, man, there's some good stuff on YouTube. You can watch all the X-Men series on YouTube.
Oh, the X-Men animated series,
Yeah.
man. That is... We're talking about shit that is shit.
Sorry, mate.
Don't bring in good things into this. Double Dragon, get out. What's number one, man? This is the big one.
The one that takes the gong is Alone in the Dark.
Oh, what a shithouse of a movie.
I've never seen this, eh?
Have you not?
You're going to have to tell me about it after I tell you the numbers. Now, this has 1% on Rotten Tomatoes.
One.
How's that possible? I don't know how anything under 50% is possible.
I don't know.
Because, movies aren't that bad, surely.
Surely. Well, okay. I can get, 25%.
Yeah.
I can probably understand that.
But a 1%, how's that possible, mate?
Every single person on the planet hated this movie, and there is good reason.
Yeah.
Tell us about some money, though.
Okay, so this actually had a decent-ish budget, $20 million. The box office only brought in $10 million. Has Christian Slater in it. You know what I know him best for now?
What?
Archer.
He's in Mr. Robot.
I don't watch that.
Well, he's in it, and it's good, and it's the show that has revived Christian Slater's career.
Is it really?
I would say so.
I might have to check that out.
What about Broken Arrow? It's a John Woo movie with...
Is that the one about the spy plane?
With John Travolta, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's Christian Slater.
Yeah, I love him. He's
Hard
my dad.
Rain.
Hard Rain. Oh,
That's Christian Slater.
Christian Slater is my dad.
Hashtag that.
It also had Tara Reid in this, and she's best known for American Pie and just being a washed-up piece of shit.
And Sharknado.
And Sharknadoes.
All the Sharknadoes.
All of them. Have you watched any of them?
No. I cannot put myself through it, but I want to so bad.
I know. I want to so bad as well. Every time I'm on Netflix, it's always there. And it's a whole series. And
It's
I just
just
I want to binge you.
Yeah, it's... It's just it's that whole, Bad Kermit meme. It's I ain't going to watch that. And then Bad Kermit's binge that shit.
Yeah. Tell me when you do
I
it.
don't want to, but I'm going to do it. Maybe we can do it same time, and then we can, talk about it.
Okay.
So we're not alone. This movie, and it's the follow-up to House of the Dead, I want to say. But I don't know if that's right. Is it House of the Dead? He's a piece of... He's a piece of shit human being who just churns out shit for the sake of trying to make movies, and every single one that he does is a video game adaptation.
Oh,
and they're
really?
all fucking terrible. U-Bowl is how this guy
Is he the Nick Cage of directors?
No, because Nick Cage is probably cool. U-Bowl is not. He's a shit heap. This is I don't understand how some directors actually get shit made. I don't understand how they get financing.
That's the biggest question. Like, how did he get $20 million for this?
Well, because he was already an established director by the time this came around, and that's what I don't get. And this has a 1% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and he still got work. He still gets work, I think.
Wow.
I don't get it.
Wow.
Do yourself a favor, please go and watch this movie, and you will see what absolute shit direction, acting, everything is. This is the epitome of shit movies, and it just happens to be a video game adaptation.
Yeah.
So bad.
So bad. We have some honorable mentions.
Yeah, we do.
Tekken.
Shit.
So shit. Basically, any Resident Evil movie after number 2.
Yeah. I'd say number 1 is actually one of those ones that you could possibly almost put on the best of list.
Yeah. But it's like so far away from like what it is.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to get to that because we're going to talk about why these things don't work. Resident Evil 2 was okay. Anything after that is just shit. Anything else by you, Bowl, because he's a piece of shit human being.
Oh my God, if you could see how angry Troy is.
If you're listening to me, fuck you, piece of shit.
And
that had Freddie Prinze Jr. in it.
Yeah, it did.
And it's a piece of shit. And I would put Warcraft in there as well because the only reason I say this, I'm probably gonna make a lot of people angry because I know there are some actual fans of the game that loved it. Whatever.
Nah, fuck that.
I got through.
Did you try watch this?
Yes, I got through 20 minutes of this movie before I turned it off, and I do not really turn off movies. But I just couldn't do it, man. I'm just like, no, thank you. This is not for me.
All right. Why do these video game movies suck so bad?
Yeah, why don't they work? This is the age-old question that people have been asking for ages of old. Why don't you think they work?
Okay.
Why do you think they don't work?
Why do I think they don't work?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think they don't work because people get them, like they get so enthralled into a video game story that they might play for. Like, there's games out there that you can play for like 100 hours.
Yeah.
You can't tell that story in an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I think that's why these movies are shit. You got to try take the best parts out of a whole game, and try cram it in while trying to tell at least some type of story, in that hour and a half. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
The only way that maybe a video game movie can work is if you plan it out over 3, but then you still got this video game curse.
Yeah.
And you'll never get past the first one because people want everything in the first movie.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work.
Themselves, a lot of the fun and the interaction comes from the gameplay, as you said, but it's the gameplay that is key. It's not necessarily the story. So you've got what on paper, if you wrote it down, would actually be a paper thin story. And you've got all this action and this, these adventures and everything that go around that. So the story itself is weak. Like when you're sort of looking at the story as it is, right? So then what they have to kind of do is they have to try to deviate from the source material as much as possible, and add things in and all that sort of stuff. So it becomes like this sort of convoluted mix of like paper thin story, then it's like other people's ideas on top of like basically just piling in action set pieces and then throwing in fan service, to kind of appeal to the people that these things are targeted at. And it all just makes for a mix for what is unfortunately the most part shit.
Yeah.
We haven't had one yet. Warcraft and Assassin's Creed were supposed to be the two that turned this around. Warcraft I couldn't get through. Assassin's Creed I only watched it because of this show.
I'm going to say there's probably one movie that stands out for me that kind of breaks the curse, and that will be Tomb Raider.
Oh,
and,
I knew you were going to say.
But
Tomb
even
Raider.
that's
I
quite
fucking
shit.
knew you were going to say Tomb Raider.
But that's all there is, and only the first one.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Yes, I do.
Okay. The second one is actually probably higher regarded than the first one.
Is it really?
Because what they tried to do is they tried to knuckle down on the story, but then it got boring because they didn't do enough action. So if you're talking about critical acclaim, it's Tomb Raider 2. But if you're talking about like
fan service,
fan service and excellent action, it's Tomb Raider 1. So it's one of those things like, where do you draw the line? Like I honestly don't think, and this is the question that I want to ask you, are we ever going to get a good one?
No. The only one that might ever pay off is maybe like a Halo where it's like fucking so out there.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter if it has a story. They kind of need to go down the Transformers route.
Yeah, okay.
and just make them fucking flashy, exploding, get really big names in the movie, give them about 20 lines of dialogue, and just blow up shit around them.
That sounds like Doom. Doom tried to do that, and Doom was shit. Doom even had the first-person shooter scene.
Oh, mate, but that's fucking terrible. No one actually wants to see that.
That was the coolest part of that movie, in my opinion. Let me tell you that. Anyway, like, I don't think we're going to get one.
No.
There's a few games out there, like The Last of Us and things like that, that could possibly, they could make for good movies. But
Yeah, they're making that. It's the Wolverine.
of course. There you go.
Yeah.
You mean
On
Logan. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to get it. Not in our lifetime anyway. Not one that's going to be fan favorite and critically acclaimed.
Yeah. Let us know what you think of the movie,
And
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah. And also let us know what you think would make a good game movie. And that would normally take us to Comic of the Week, but we are actually putting that on hiatus for this week because we do have some pretty exciting stuff coming. It's going to come next week, and you're going to be excited. Trust me.
Yes. It's huge. It's so fucking big.
Yeah, that's what she said. Wink.
Wink.
Anyway, it is actually pretty exciting. We're very excited to bring it to you next week. That's next week. So instead today, we're going to move on.
We're going to move on. We are going to move on. But just to fill in the time, we're going to answer some questions that you guys have asked on Facebook.
Yes.
So let's see. Billy Lamberg. Sorry if I spelled that wrong.
Also, if he said your actual full name on the air.
Well, this is happening. Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy?
If you had to pick one?
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, fucking that's an easy question, mate.
I do like those characters more. If you had have asked me before I'd seen either movie, I would have said Avengers for sure.
And who the fuck are Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, exactly. That would have been my next question. But having seen James Gunn's work, Guardians of the Galaxy for sure.
Good stuff. Jimmy Leparati asked, The Rock's casting in Shazam, yay or nay?
As Black Adam?
Yes.
Man, this is one that I've been pretty vocal about for a while.
Yeah, we spoke about this one before. The Rock cannot act for shit.
I love Black Adam as a character. I honestly do. I think it might even be my avatar in this little chat thing that we have going on for the show. I love Black Adam. I don't think The Rock can pull it off. He doesn't have, it's just The Rock does The Rock in every movie. He doesn't have any range at all. Black Adam needs to be this big on-screen presence, this kind of regal royal, because he does come from a royal background.
Yep.
I don't think The Rock has what it takes to bring that to the big screen.
No,
I would rather see someone else, but unfortunately that's what we got. I hope he proves me wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just going to be shit. Daniel Rollins asked, what are some TV shows that you grew up watching and want to see again? Let's just wait on that question.
Well, yeah, we are gonna, should we talk about this now?
Might as well.
Okay, so we did actually ask you guys to give us some suggestions for episode 50, which is next week. It's our big one. It's our half century. So we have decided that the winner of said not competition, but, asking of things, was Dan Barley, who asked us, what are our favorite animated series of all time? Or animated or TV series of all time that we would like to see made into a movie? So that's probably going to answer your question next week, sir. I hope so anyway, at least.
Yeah. So,
and congratulations, Dan, for being the winner.
What a top bloke.
You don't get anything, though. Sorry, dude.
Well, no. Duty Dutrum is asking, have you guys done shots? No, mate.
I don't drink.
I don't drink at all.
I am straight edge. I'm CM Punk, baby.
He's asked for any bad jokes. I don't think we've told any.
What's brown and sticky? A brown stick. There you go.
I'm so fucking done. And Peter Bauer asks, which role should Nick Cage take in the DC universe?
Peter Bauer, stop it with your damn Nick Cage questions. This is every week.
Anything he can take.
Yeah, basically. I think if you threw Squirrel Girl at Nick Cage, he would take it.
Yeah, true.
But Squirrel Girl's too good a character for Nick Cage, let's be honest. Moving on.
That's all I got.
That's the listener questions for today. We filled up the time that we needed to. Hey, thanks everyone for submitting questions. We do appreciate it, and we love answering your questions in the best way that we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's move on to what would be the outro of the show, which is always where it seems to get the toughest to actually get through for some reason.
This is where the tracks get really wobbly and the train starts rocking.
Yep.
So let's thank the listeners, subscribers, and reviewers. You guys rock.
You guys do rock, as we say every week.
Every week.
If you don't know by now.
I'm never going to stop telling you guys how fucking much you rock my jocks.
Well, as you said as well, there's also new people that need to know that they rock as well.
Exactly.
So you guys all rock. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at Comic Confidential Podcast, Instagram and Twitter at Comic Con Pod. And there is the YouTube as well. Link is in the show notes. Make sure you follow us because we love to interact with you guys.
And that's right. And don't forget to join the Comic Confidential listener community on Facebook.
Yes.
That's
do
where
that.
these questions just got answered from.
Hey.
So you
that's
jump
the thing.
on there and you got like a direct line to us.
What?
That's dangerous.
That is dangerous. Nothing goes either. I'm throwing that out there. We have a Snapchat, which is... There is no actual address. It's just we're on Snapchat. It's Comic Con Pod. Make sure you follow us on that for things that happen visually.
Also got the website. That's comicconpod.com. If you want to jump on there, check out the past episodes,
Yeah.
reviews.
Yeah, there's other things on there too sometimes.
There is some other things.
I
Troy
put
puts a
things up
comic
there.
of the week on there. And It's
Yeah.
like an essay.
Yeah, it is. You think it's long when I say it on the show. You ain't seen nothing yet. Patreon.
Patreon.
That's a thing.
If you want to support the show, jump on there. That's patreon.com/ComicConPod. And we actually have a new Patreon member.
Yes, that we need to shout out. Look, we're probably a week or so late with this, so we do apologize, but we've got it now. Janelle Castro, I hope I've said your first name right, dude. Janelle Castro, you're an absolute champion. You're a legend. We love you.
How'd you say it?
Janelle? Jonelle?
It's Jonelle.
What did I say?
Like Janelle.
No, Jonelle. Janelle.
Is he from Krypton? Kind of sounds Kryptonian.
John L.
Yeah, John L.
Look, honestly, man, thanks, mate. We do appreciate it.
You're a bloody legend.
Yeah, also. And don't forget the sweet deal that we have for you guys over at Comic Blitz.
Wink.
Wink. So make sure you jump on to Comic Blitz, use the promo code ComicConPod, and you will get their ultimate, what's the word I'm looking for? Subscription for free for a month.
One whole month.
1 whole month of free comics.
So damn good.
And don't forget the
vote
thing
for-
that we spoke about for about half an hour at the start of the show, the Castaway Awards. Which, look, in all seriousness, it's a really good opportunity for a show like us to get out there amongst some of these other shows that are out there. I like to call them competition.
I like to call them members of a podcasting community and friends that don't talk back to us.
Look, in all honesty, it is a really great thing, and it's a fantastic thing that these guys are doing for the Australian podcasting community. I'll be 100% honest with you, all joking aside. It's absolutely fantastic, and they are helping to raise awareness to the Australian podcasting community, which is fantastic. No one else is doing that at the moment, so that's good. So just make sure that you go to our Facebook page. It's actually on our Twitter account as well. Jump on there, click the link, click the other link, click that third link, find the extra secret stage.
Scroll down, hold your left arm up, and then hit vote.
Yeah, I think it's XY, select, and then R1, L1. I think you got to press all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll get access.
Easy as that.
That's it. Thanks for listening. As always, I'm Troy.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Cade. And this has been Comic Confidential. Thanks, guys.
You're fucking a mess. You tell that one joke about a stick, and you've been laughing for like 15 minutes, mate.
But it is simple, but it is genius.
Mate.
What is brown and sticky, Cade? A brown stick.
Fuck, I hate you. I've been in the wrong mouse.